The High Court decision to order an immediate recruitment of new IEBC commissioners has exposed the constitutional vacuum that the talks between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza created in the name of a political truce. In her decision, High Court Judge Mugure Thande said political expediency should not override the Constitution. Constitutional lawyers say the country faces a constitutional crisis at a time when IEBC should have been concluding the review of constituency boundaries, whose 12-year window lapses next month. Stephen Leto reports.
High Court Judge Mugure Thande directed that the current IEBC selection panel moves with speed and immediately recruits new IEBC commissioners, including their chair. The process was put on hold following the constitution of the bipartisan talks, where both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza fronted talks teams seeking to find, among others, the best formula to replace ousted and retired IEBC commissioners. But the High Court judge said, quote, "I reject the notion that the political question doctrine should override the very explicit constitutional provisions and that the prevailing circumstances should be allowed to infringe on the rights enshrined in the Constitution." Justice Thande further said in her ruling that the intervention of this court is therefore justified, more so because the bipartisan talks are, to the best of our knowledge, not anchored in either the Constitution or the law. The High Court's decision, brought about by a case filed by Aden Mohammed, who claimed that failure to recruit IEBC commissioners in time had violated the rights of constituents who were to hold by-elections, for instance, Banisa constituency. The MP died in March last year.
Already a constitutional crisis. IEBC, as one of the independent institutions, has an ongoing mandate to mediate political processes. One of them is to conduct by-elections, another one is to review boundaries, and these are ongoing processes. They are not linked to a general election. It was a mistake actually to disband IEBC without a plan for reconstituting a new one.
Political pundits argue that it was a bad idea to allow disbandment of the IEBC without a laid-down framework to have new commissioners in office.
Remember, there is a constituency that doesn't have an MP at the moment. I think it's called Banisa, somewhere in Mandera also. And the people of Banisa have a right to be represented in Parliament continuously. They have not been represented for well over a year now. Nobody in this country has mandate to disinherit me or to deny me the right to representation.
IEBC is required to have started the process.
The delimitation of boundaries, which is required under law to be done at least 10 years, but not later than 12 years. Now, 10 years came in the year 2022, but the law allowed us up to 12 years, which now expires in March of 2024. So in terms of the crisis that would then ensue is that there would be a lacuna in law where delimitation has not been done, and there are constituencies which may cease to exist.
Some constituencies had been ring-fenced for the period and were to cease existing after the boundaries review. On the 23rd of June, IEBC, in its boundaries review plan, increased the population quota to 164,015, having divided the population at the time 47.5 million with a stipulated 290 constituencies.
The constituencies were saved under the law were about 30 constituencies, including Odaya is one of them, I think Daragwa is one of them, and a number of other constituencies. It means then that we cannot plan for them, the government cannot allocate money to them, you cannot appropriate resources for CDF and other planning things in terms of infrastructure, roads, and other things. That is the immediate constitutional crisis that I foresee.
The National Dialogue Committee report had laid down a framework on the recruitment of the IEBC team, but the document is still gathering dust in Parliament. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV.